Frances Ellen Watkins Harper was born in Baltimore in 1825. Her parents were free blacks, so she was born free, which allowed her to learn how to read and write. As a young adult, she primarily lived in Ohio, but she would travel all throughout the South and the East Coast giving speeches and reciting her poetry. And this is with slavery alive. And so by giving these speeches, she raised money for a bunch of anti-slavery efforts. Her poetry was about slavery, especially the women, meaning the mothers and the little girls who experienced it, and the wives who lost their husbands to death of the slave trade. Her written words really empowered her work, because at the same time that she was reciting poetry, she was helping people on the Underground Railroad get to Canada. But let's back up a little bit. At the same time that the anti-slavery movement is intensifying in the 1850s, the Temperance Movement is growing a lot stronger in Ohio. These organizations were primarily run by women who argued that, well, if our gender role is to raise kids with morals, then we should have a role in helping adults to stop drinking and doing all the sinful things that sometimes drinking encourages you to do. After the Civil War, the United States begins to industrialize a little bit more, meaning people are moving to the cities for jobs. And the Temperance Movement folks, they see people that are homeless, they see people without jobs, they see people boogieing in the club, and they said, see, that's that alcohol destroying society. But the big thing was that a lot of these women saw their husbands, their fathers, their brothers drinking alcohol and abusing them and other family members. And so the temperance movement became a large organizing body for women across the country. By the 1880s, Frances had worked her way up into leadership position in the Women's Christian Temperance Union. But her glass ceiling was that she was only allowed to lead in the black section of the organization, despite her abilities. And so she was a powerful black woman that was excluded by mainstream white women's organizations. And so in the 1890s, she helps to found the National Association of Colored Women and served as their vice president. So you already know, based on that last video, she was friends with Mary Church Terrell. They were basically trying to prove that a large organizing body of black women was just as intelligent, dignified, and powerful as any organizing body of white women. And throughout Frances's career, she pushed for women's suffrage through the NACW. But she also never stopped fighting within white women's organizations despite their limitations. She is Frances Ellen Watkins Harper.